Yo, yo, yo. Thanks for tuning in to the 23rd episode of J Talks Crypto. And I will be doing a very quick review of the GekkoScience Terminus R606. This is not a super technical review. I just wanted to give my thoughts on it because there's not a lot of videos on YouTube reviewing or even talking about this device. The stupid shit I do for likes on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys know I hate asking. This is what I do because I always forget. So it's just like when I do remember, I'm like, do some stupid ass shit. So what is it? It is a Bitcoin SHA256 ASIC miner. It works directly with mining Bitcoin. With this, you can point it at any mining pool. And the difference between something like this and something like Bitmain Antminer is that this is, I guess some people would call it like a toy or a learning device. Can you mine serious amount of Bitcoin with this? Probably not. If you buy this, will you make money? Probably not. You will. It might ROI in the sense that, like, if you mine Bitcoin with it and then Bitcoin shoots up to $1 million, the coins that you mine will definitely be worth a good chunk. But the amount of money that you would spend on the actual device right now on eBay, they're probably going anywhere from, I think the lowest I've seen is like 450 or something like that. But they go anywhere between, like, if you can get one for 400, I would say like that's a fucking deal, because I haven't seen any for around that price in forever. And I think they originally did retail at around 350, 365. Right now on eBay, they're probably going for like 550, 6, 7, 8, 900 even. It's fucking crazy. It's absolutely fucking crazy. It pushes on stock about 750 gigahashes, I believe, and you can overclock it to about a terahash. To give you guys a comparison, the Apollo BTC that I have is I'll do a side by side for y'all. I have them right here. This is the Apollo BTC. This is the GekkoScience Terminus. This side is just plain. Yeah, it's not that many people that have a bunch of these that they can actually do comparisons, right? In the future, I'm gonna be doing a video called the evolution of hobby mining Bitcoin or something like that. I'll show y'all the little other preview device that I have for it. This fucking monster right here. Was able to get my hands on one just to compare, dude. This is gonna be a crazy video. But let me get back to reviewing this pod miner. Back to the GekkoScience. Yeah, so the prices for these things are all over the place. The reason why I pulled out the FutureBit Apollo is so you can kind of understand where it stands in terms of hobby mining. I guess like on stock balance settings, right? This thing will put the fair way to judge this is that this thing will push 750 gigahashes. The Apollo BTC will push 2.5 terahashes. So the pod miner, to give you guys like a direct side by side comparison where you kind of like understand what's going on, the pod miner does 7 versus the Apollo BTC's 2.5. If you overclock the pod miner, the Terminus R606, it will do a 1 terahash versus the 2.5 on stock on the Apollo BTC. And then if you overclock the Apollo BTC, I was able to hit like 3.4 to 3.6. So it is a stronger device. One of the reasons why it's a stronger device is because of how much more chips it has in it. I believe the GekkoScience R606 has 12 chips. It's the same chip that's found in the Bitmain miner S9, and the Apollo BTC has 44 chips. So what's happening, I think, with the Apollo BTC is that they have essentially kind of like probably a more efficient hash board that is able to fit more chips on it, and essentially stress each chip out a little bit less. Because I don't know which one is more efficient on. I think the Apollo BTC is also more efficient on power draw, if I recall correctly. Which is it's pretty crazy how much I guess like more advanced it is, and that's kind of like why in my review of the Apollo BTC I called it like the, hands down the best residential ASIC. But I will also say that the GekkoScience is, in my opinion, I don't know, I have a soft spot for it. It's fucking dope. It does put out a terahash. I love the lights. I love the way it looks. And it's quiet. That's kind of like one of the things about these miners that's so fucking cool. It's just like, yeah, an ant miner is gonna push a lot more hash power, but it's loud. I actually just found out that with an ant miner, you can underclock it and have it running at around 500 watts, and it's not going to be as loud or as hot. But that's like one thing that you all you got to pay attention to it, and it's something that like is gonna draw a lot more power. An ant miner is still drawing 500 watts of power. This thing, it'll draw 100 watts of power. Like people underrate the ability to be able to mine with very, very low power, and discount how important it is to the network. We just lost 27% of the hash rate, and yeah, it's picking back up. But what if every single mining device out there consumed 3,000 and change watts of power? That's like sustainable in the sense if we build out the correct infrastructure for it. But we do need devices that consume 50 watts of power, 100 watts of power, 10 watts of power. We need to, that's the network that, this is a decentralized network. It can't just be these large scale industrial farms. It needs to be guys in basements. It needs to be guys in, people in your regular house like me, just running a couple of these, with not much of a footprint. It just makes the room a little bit hotter sometimes. It's not really that these also don't put out as much heat as like these industrial miners, and that's kind of like why I like them. I also feel that if you look at that block eruptor that I showed you, I got that for like $90. I think that thing retailed at around like $400 or $500 like way back in 2013, but I picked it up for 90, I believe. And if you go through the eBay sales, a couple, like the sold listings, a couple of them went for like, I think the lowest I saw was like 70 or like 80. And that's one of the things, like, these ASICs, like, they keep their value in the sense that like the hardware is always going to be worth something if the machine is working. And that's one of the things that Sidehack is, which is the guy that's in in charge of kind of like GekkoScience does, is that these are pretty damn reliable, and you can expect them to be hashing for a long ass time. And yeah, I'm pretty, and I think that these are going to be so rare that in the future, even though what they mine might not be a lot, the actual ASIC itself is going to be worth something, because it's kind of like what happened to these new pack USB miners. With his USB miners, they were initially like $50 or some shit like that, something ridiculous, and now they're going. If you can get them retail, you can get them for 80, and if you can get them fucking for like resale, like anywhere from or like a, you know, depending on the vendor, you might be able to get them for like 90, 95, but otherwise you're gonna have to get them secondhand for like $130 to fucking $200 each. And you know, I have no idea how, you know, how well those are going to keep their value, but it's also cool with these devices that you can just go straight to lotto. Like, you know, if you're that kind of person where you like to play lottery, I feel like it's significantly better to get one of these and put it in lotto mode, and start to, you know, just like, I guess, gamble. But it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You're going to spend less money on, depending on how bad your gambling addiction is. You know, like it's just go on Solo Chance, type in your hash rate, and see what your chances would be. I'll do it for the video. Hopefully this thing is working. I'll be generous and I'll put it at a terahash. So your chances per day is 1 in 738,781. For your chance for each block. So every 10 minutes you have a 1 in 106 million chance on average if you're running this thing. To give you a comparison of what that means, your odds of winning the lottery and then your odds of getting struck by lightning. Okay, so your odds of getting struck by lightning are 300,000 to 1. So you are more likely to get struck by lightning than to plug this in at a terahash than to hit a block. And your odds of winning the lottery are 1 in about 14 million. So that's not bad. That's not bad. If your chances in a lottery are 1 in 14 million, and your chances on a Bitcoin lottery are 1 in 700,000, that's a pretty solid. That's a pretty fucking solid reduction in risk, in my opinion. Let's do that. Comparison drop. So, all right, your chances to win the lottery. So it's like, if you win the lottery with this, you're gonna get 6.25 Bitcoin, or three and change Bitcoin, depending on when you're watching this video. If you're watching this past 2024 in May, I believe it will be 3 and change. If you're watching this in 2028, it's gonna be one and change. But for the purposes of this video, we're gonna be using the block reward of 6.25 BTC, and we're gonna be using this overclocked at about a terahash. And so your chances of winning the Bitcoin lottery, 6.25 Bitcoin, is 1 in 738,000. I'll say it was 739,000. Your chances of winning the regular lottery is 1 in 14 million. That is approximately a 95% reduction or you're more 95% more likely to hit a Bitcoin block worth 6.25 Bitcoin than you are to win the lottery. But you are also more likely to get struck by lightning, it seems. So, profitability. How much does this thing actually mine? This thing makes, like, if you were to try to pool it, like $1 a month, $2, maybe $2 a month. In terms of profit, in terms of straight revenue, you're and that's pretty cool. You know, it is profitable. Like, so if you run this thing and you run Bitcoin at the current price, it's profitable. That's kind of wild. You know, you're profiting like you know, $1 to $2 a month, and that's at 30,000. If the price of Bitcoin goes up to like 60K, your profit doubles. And then that doesn't also count the amount that the ASIC might go up, because if Bitcoin doubles, more people are going to be interested in mining, and more people are going to want devices like this because they're not made anymore, and they do have a low power draw. And it's a lot easier to drop, like, you know, maybe $500 to $1,000 or $1,200 on something like this to learn with, rather than spending like $5,000 to $10,000 on a extremely expensive, loud miner that you don't even know if you could run in your house, and you don't know how much your electricity bill is gonna go up. Something like this is like having a light bulb plugged in. Something like an actual miner, that's gonna, like, it's gonna, if you're not financially prepared to handle that, it could throw you off. And just in general, a bad strategy for mining is to mine and immediately sell. That's a horrible strategy, from what I've seen. So, you know, you would be making about, I think, yearly in straight revenue with this thing, like 300,000 Satoshis. And I think that is worth it, because it's a way to get like straight up non-KYC Bitcoin, and you help decentralize the network. I personally don't run it on Lotto. I think Satoshi is completely, like, underpriced. I think over the long run it's gonna hit a penny, and then like eventually gonna hit $1. And like, if I ever have kids, the Satoshis that I mine with these things are going straight to them. So that's kind of like what this is about. You know, hobby mining. I'm not trying to be like the fucking biggest whale or whatever. Just trying to provide education to people that are interested, because we are still early, and this is still the sat stacking channel. Anyway, this video is getting kind of long. I hope you guys check it out. Get into hobby mining. It's important. If we support it, if we keep investing into projects like this, they will only get more efficient, and they will only grow, and they will only further decentralize mining. And if you have a problem with large-scale miners, this makes them less profitable, because that 6.25 Bitcoin reward is getting split up by all of us. And it's just like, if all of us have a terahash, we're taking a good chunk away from the larger miners and making it harder for them to actually stay in business. And I think that's important too. You know, we don't want one entity to have such a large hash rate. And it's also a non-issue, because if you think about the game theoretic components about Bitcoin, like, it'll sort itself out, but I still think it's important. And if we're right, and then Bitcoin does go to like $1 billion goddamn dollars, then you will be happy that you bought this thing. I think they're gonna have like some sort of historical significance in the future, maybe. But yeah, we'll see. This is JTalks Crypto, and I'm signing off.